From why Lisa Marie Presley hates him to his divorce from Katie Holmes, this is the real reason Tom Cruise is hated in Hollywood.
When I was on the side, I was just thinking, thank God it didn't hit my face. I didn't tell my family or friends or anyone I was doing it beforehand. But look, I do it because it's entertaining to you all. You know, I want to entertain you.
I think they're going to find out.
I want to entertain you.
Tom Cruise may be one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and his last Top Gun movie's stunning box office numbers prove that he can still bring moviegoers to movie theaters. However, over the last decade, Cruise has faced his fair share of controversy, and it all stems from his ties to the Church of Scientology. Now, rumors persist that much of Hollywood hates Cruise because of his Scientology beliefs. This has never been more apparent than now, thanks to new reporting about how the late Lisa Marie Presley felt about one of the biggest movie stars of all time. Though most people may not know it, Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley, had long been a member of the Church of Scientology until she ultimately cut ties with them in 2014. Presley was brought up in the church and has had close ties with them since the 1970s, as her mother Priscilla Presley was an active member. After she left the Church of Scientology, she claimed that the leaders of the church had long tried to take everything from her. Most of all, they wanted all of the money that she inherited once she hit 25 years old and gained full control of Elvis Presley's estate. In fact, Presley even admits that the church did get some of her money. The church also brought her in to meet the elite circles of the church, which included none other than Tom Cruise, as well as other A-list Hollywood celebrities. According to Presley, the church wanted to use her and her money to bring in more members. But upon meeting Tom Cruise, Presley realized that she couldn't stand him. Years after meeting him, she said, "I fucking hate Tom. I met him 20 years ago. I said I never want to be in a room with him again." Lisa Marie Presley isn't the only Hollywood celebrity that hates Tom Cruise. Thanks to his Scientology ties, more than a few stars can't stand him. Brooke Shields also doesn't like him.
I just picked on you, and I don't know why. And I was like, because you know I'm nice, and I'm not gonna, try to totally shame you. But unfortunately, he did it to himself. But he apologized like a gentleman.
As he was publicly rude about her back in 2005, after she revealed that she suffered from postpartum depression and used antidepressants to cope. To this, Cruise said, "When someone says medication has helped them, it is to cope. It didn't cure anything. There is no science. There is nothing that can cure them whatsoever." Shields didn't just let him say this, especially after he then criticized her career. She quickly responded and ridiculed his Scientology beliefs, saying, "Tom should stick to saving the world from aliens and let women who are experiencing postpartum depression decide what treatment options are best for them." Actor Russell Crowe also doesn't care for Cruise, though this has more to do with his decades-long friendship with Nicole Kidman, Cruise's ex-wife, than anything. Reportedly, when Crowe and Cruise worked together on the 2017 movie The Mummy, Crowe completely iced Cruise out. He wouldn't talk to him, wouldn't hang out with him, and instead would just keep his distance as much as possible. Why? Well, Crowe and Kidman, two Australian actors, had been friends for decades, and Crowe didn't like how Cruise treated her during and after their marriage. It's not a stretch to say that Cruise's Scientology belief also came into play, especially as Kidman is no longer associated with the church in any way. Interestingly, it's not just Hollywood stars outside of Scientology who hate Cruise. One huge Scientology member actually despises the man too. Yup, John Travolta of Grease fame has long been a member of the Church of Scientology, though his current relationship with the church remains up in the air. After his wife's death, rumors swirled that he was leaving the church, though other reporting disputes these rumors, so nobody knows for sure what's going on. Travolta has long been a devoted member of Scientology. However, it appears that he never got the acclaim and love from the powers that be at the church that Cruise does, and that has left him quite jealous. Travolta even hates Cruise as a result of this ongoing feud, and it appears that the feeling is mutual, as Travolta wasn't invited to Cruise's wedding to Katie Holmes, which seemingly confirmed all the bad blood between these two high-ranking Scientology members. Also, quite interestingly, Lisa Marie Presley, who we've already clarified hated Tom Cruise, said in the past that the only friend she kept from the church was Travolta. Now, it's rumored that members of the church cannot be friends with those who have left, but it appears that neither Presley nor Travolta let that get in the way of their friendship. Former Scientology member Leah Remini also hates Cruise.
He is very aware that it's an organization that is defrauding people out of their lives, but in his heart, I believe he believes it. So I don't believe that
That's
he's
what I mean.
Yeah, he's totally.
Remini left the Church of Scientology back in 2013 and has made it her mission to hold the entire church and all its members accountable for their grievous actions. Remini has called the church a cult in the past and has shown just how cruel they can be. Remini publicly bashed Cruz and said she left the church after more than a few run-ins with him, as well as with the church's leader. She even wrote negative stories about him in his memoir, which Cruz hated. As Remini hasn't backed down from talking about Cruz in recent years, it's safe to say that she'll continue to call him out for his Scientology beliefs. As you can see, there are many people who hate Cruz in Hollywood. But of course, none of these stars have the tumultuous history that Cruz's exes have with him. Possibly most notable is his last wife, Katie Holmes. Cruz and Holmes' relationship made headlines when they first got together, especially when Cruz went on Oprah Winfrey's show and loudly declared how much he loved Holmes, all while jumping on the couch. However, the relationship would only last a few years before the two fully separated in 2011. Reporting has confirmed that Holmes left her marriage to Cruz in an attempt to save their daughter, Suri, from being forced to be a member of the Church of Scientology. Though Holmes seemingly became a member of the church once she got together with Cruz, she is no longer associated with Scientology in any way. Neither is Suri. Cruz himself admitted in a court deposition that Holmes ended his marriage to protect Suri from the church. Because Suri and Holmes aren't a part of the church, Cruz hasn't seen either since the divorce. The Church of Scientology has a strict rule against associating with people who aren't members, or those who were former members, and Cruz has, thus far, stayed true to this rule, even though we've already talked about how other members such as John Travolta have seemingly swayed from following this rule to a T. But Cruz is different. By all accounts, he's high up in the church and has a lot of power. Some people think he's fully become brainwashed by the church, and so won't go against them in any way. While Holmes has never fully come out to bash Cruz or the church, she has made insinuations that she's much happier now than she was in the past. Unfortunately, Cruz hasn't seen Suri in many years. There's no indication he's seen her since his split with Holmes, as Holmes doesn't want Suri in the church, so Cruz doesn't see his daughter at all as a result. Reporting all suggests that Holmes finally realized she had to escape her marriage when she saw what happened with Cruz's other ex-wife, Nicole Kidman. Kidman admits that her divorce from Cruz came as a shock, and it took her a long time to get over it. However, she met the love of her life, Keith Urban, and has moved on successfully. But Holmes saw the pain that Kidman was forced to go through because of the church, namely that Kidman could not see the two children she adopted with Cruz, as they stayed with their father and became members. Now, there's no indication of what Kidman's relationship is like with her two now adult children, who are still a part of the church, though Kidman says she has respect for her children's beliefs. Holmes saw that Kidman lost her children, and she didn't want this to happen to her and Suri, so she made the decision to fully leave to protect herself, but most of all, to protect her child. So, though Cruz may have relationships with the two children he shares with Kidman, it's clear that he hasn't seen or spoken to Suri in years, and all because Scientology tells him not to. From Cruz's split with Katie Holmes to why Lisa Marie Presley hated him, this was the real reason Tom Cruise is hated in Hollywood.